Hi everyone, my name is Christie and I've had the privilege of speaking at Take Back the Night for many years now. I have to apologize because I'm reading off my screen, so it may look like I'm not looking at you. I am so grateful to be invited back to Take Back the Night every year to hear all of your stories and share this experience with everyone. I know I say this every year, but it truly is a privilege to be able to stand up in front of others and speak about such pressing and important issues, and it's not one that I take for granted. So I thank the Niagara Region Sexual Assault Center for giving me this opportunity and for providing a safe and supportive environment for women. I am an elementary school teacher. I've been teaching here in Niagara for the past 10 years, and as a teacher, I know the internet can be a wild and wonderful place. It's provided us with opportunities that we never dreamed imaginable. Students can connect with people across the world over shared interests and skills. Over the past 10 years, and particularly throughout the pandemic, I've seen my students accomplish incredible, amazing things with the help of technology. One student in particular, she recorded a podcast about women in power and interviewed successful female entrepreneurs across the country. We all collectively tweeted Michelle Obama and asked her to join the podcast too. Unfortunately, we weren't successful, but my student was able to connect with several other incredible and influential women. Another student reached out to a scientist and black hole specialist for help with her project on black holes in outer space. And she invited him to join our virtual classroom and present games and information relevant to her topic. It was incredible, unbelievable stuff. This past year, I had another student who's an aspiring interior designer, and with the help of her brother and a few handy apps, she edited and recorded her own home makeover show. I had another student who's interested in photography and editing, and she downloaded some apps and connected with other young photographers online. Through the help of technology, both of these students pursued their passions and discovered their incredible talents. I've also seen technology give students an opportunity to shine. Those who are more technologically savvy, and let's be honest, most kids are more tech savvy than us these days, they have the opportunity to show off their skills in coding and graphic design and website building. One of my favorite things about tech is that it gives students alternative ways to stand out. Those who might not be as skilled in traditional school activities such as sports or music, they can find their niche in a tech club. Coding and robotic clubs have become wildly popular, so much so that we often don't have enough supplies for all of the students who want to join. I've also found social media to be a very informative and empowering tool for young women. My students often follow the accounts of women around the world who are standing up for bodily autonomy and their political and social rights. Over the past few years, I've noticed my female students are more outspoken and aware of the injustices within the system. They often talk to me about the unfair dress codes or the wage gap. They followed the Me Too movement online, and they came to school with heavy questions and opinions. Whether or not they're talking about these issues at home, they are definitely learning about them online. And thanks to social media, young women are better informed about issues across the world and therefore more prepared to ask questions and take action. In my short time as a teacher, I've seen the internet and social media transform the way students communicate, gather information, respond to social issues, and develop into young adults. It really is a wild and wonderful place. However, we are all aware that the internet can be wildly dangerous as well. I remember my mom once describing it as the wild, wild west, and it truly is. It is ever changing, and it's nearly impossible to guarantee that my students, your children, are 100% safe. From cyberbullying to body dysmorphia to child exploitation and trafficking, the internet poses innumerable risks for our youth. As soon as they open their phone or log onto their computer, they are entering the wild, wild west. And it is our job to ensure they have the tools necessary, or the tools and information necessary to protect themselves. When I talk to parents at school, I often tell them, don't be scared of the internet, just be smart about it. One of the best ways to do this is to stay informed and communicate with your kids about what they're doing online. Ask them who they're following on social media, and don't be afraid to make your own account and follow those people as well. It's important to know what kinds of posts and information your child is consuming every day. In my classroom, I often share cool accounts with my students about education, environmentalism, women's rights, indigenous issues, etc., and try to influence my students to follow different types of accounts that are more empowering or informative. Ask your children to show you what pictures or videos they're posting online. And I can't stress this enough. Don't get mad at them for what they post. I can't tell you the number of times I've heard my students come to school and talk about how they've made new accounts online because their parents got mad at them over something they've posted. If you see them post something that's concerning, ask them about it. Inquire as to why they posted that picture or video. Who were they hoping would see it? What did they want to achieve? How does it reflect their personality? And does it fit in with the online identity they're trying to build? In my class, we talk a lot about our online identities, and I teach my students that your online personality should match your real life personality. If it's not something you do in our classroom, it's not something that should happen online either. Ask your children who they're talking to online. Throughout the pandemic, I noticed an increase in students making friends online. When we share in our classroom, when we share what we did over the weekend, many of my students said, I played video games for hours with my virtual friend, someone they had met online. Through online gaming and social media, students are building relationships with people outside of their typical social circle. So ask your children about their online friends and try to get to know them. Stay close by when they're playing online so that you can hear the conversations. Online friendships are incredible, and they served as a great support for my students this past year. But they are tricky to navigate, and we all know that what you see online isn't always what you get. So try to get to know your child's online friend in the same way you would get to know their in-person friends. Do your research and try to stay on top of new apps. And admittedly, this is very hard. I am surrounded by kids all day and I can't keep up with new apps and trends. But it's our job to protect them, and in order to do so, we need to know what apps they are using. So do your research, ask questions, download the apps yourself, and read the security policies. The more you know about the apps, the more you'll be able to protect and empower your children. And finally, talk to your kids about the images they see online of celebrities and athletes. Teach them about photoshopping and remind them that the pictures they see online are not realistic and not attainable in real life. Celebrate their natural bodies instead and encourage them to post pictures and videos of themselves unfiltered. In September, I always take photos of my students for our growth mindset wall, and every year I have 4 or 5 students who will ask me to put a filter over their face. Students are growing up and seeing images of filtered bodies and normalizing those bodies. They are inundated with images of unrealistic and unattainable bodies on a daily basis, and at only 9 or 10 years old, and probably younger, they've normalized those bodies and are comparing them to their own. So talk to your kids regularly about that and remind them that every body is a good body. The internet can be an incredible tool if it's used properly. It can give students a space to thrive and to succeed. My best advice is not to shy away from it, but to embrace it. Our kids are smart and curious and talented, and they're growing up in a world where the internet is a necessary aspect of daily life. As teachers, parents, and caregivers, we can give students the tools to navigate the internet safely and protect themselves online. Thank you.